Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to Tool Show with me, Master Dan, the Journeyman shooter. And today we're going to be doing one of our little coffee time segments here. It's our weekly segment, and I've got a delicious roast. My mom sent it from, I don't know if it's from the States or somewhere, but it's darn good. It's a peanut butter cup coffee, and that's especially tasty tonight. And so I figured, what are we going to be talking about today on Tool Show here? And figuring out what we're going to be talking about is always an important thing, because I don't want to just ramble on and waste all your time here. But my mom, she sent me a care package the other day, and that's what I figured. So what are we going to be talking about? Well, as you can see behind me there in the sky, there's the moon and space. So what happens in NASA with the International Space Station is they all send up packages every once, I think it's 3 or 4 or 5 times a year. Whenever a new delivery comes to the space station, they'll send up a brand new package for everybody, and those, usually there's something from home for like the Americans or the Russians, or they send something that's typical to where they're from kind of thing. But what the Americans do is, like, I know that I watched it was a documentary on like the space station, and it was about one of the American astronauts, and what he does is when he gets a package, he always shares it with friends. And for years I always thought that was the best thing, because he's like from Boston, so he shares beans or something crazy like that, and it was a great thing because those people never got to eat it before, so they got to try it in space for the first time, which is pretty rare. You don't get to try stuff in space for all that often, but I just thought that was cool. So whenever somebody sends me a package, I usually share it because it's a lot of stuff to eat. But what my mom ended up getting me is, every year she goes down to Florida, and it's my favorite time of the year because I always get something good. And what did she get me? Same thing she gets me every year: alligator beef jerky. Now, alligator beef jerky is one of my favorites because it's such a rare exotic meat that you kind of don't get that every day. And I know every year when my mom sends it, I've always shared it with people, because we were working at basically at the airport. So one time at the international airport, we were eating alligator meat out on the actual tarmac. Or what else did we have? We had it in the skyscrapers downtown, a couple of the skyscrapers that we were building right over and up in there, I think. Well, I can't say exactly which ones because I don't want to put anybody at risk there. But we ended up, we had alligator meat up in the top of the skyscraper overlooking all of downtown basically, and it was beautiful. It was a better view than what they had at the Calgary Tower, and we're getting to eat exotic alligator meat, which is something cool and something that you don't get to do every day. And I know a lot of those guys still ask me about it, if I get any alligator meat. And I was filming a segment the other day with one of my friends who's one of the best youth apprentices around in the city, and he won a bunch of awards too, just like me, for my program. But he asked me straight up, he's like, "You guys got any of that alligator beef jerky left?" And I said, "No, not yet, but once I get some, I'm going to share some with you," and that's what we're going to do. So that's the plan, and I can't wait to share some with all those guys that continue to ask. And it's kind of funny, my mom, she picked me up some, and she told my aunt, who was down in Florida as well, that she couldn't find any of it, and forgot to tell my aunt that she found some. So now I've got like 3 times the amount of alligator beef jerky, which is awesome, so I won't complain. So if anybody wants some, reach out to me and maybe I'll give you a slice or something like that. But we've got to be careful, because I don't want to get in trouble for giving people exotic meats over the internet, because I think there's a whole bunch of different laws and stuff that go around by that. But it was a gift from my mom, and I love it. And same with the saltwater taffy. I can't eat all of it because it's going to destroy my teeth, and I don't have dental benefits right now, so why not share it? That's the best part about it. So other than that, that's kind of all I was getting at today, and that's the goal for If You Can. Hello. So if you have something good like that, and it's the same with your tools and everything. I know I was always kind of the same way, where I basically try to hoard all my tools and create a collection that nobody else was ever going to use again. So I'd use it on a job site, or I'd use my tools someplace rare, and I'd keep them in my tool bag so that I'd give them down to my kids or something someday. I don't know what happened, but during the floods of 2013, when somebody stole all of my tools, I lost all those heirlooms. Like, my dad got me a multimeter that's for measuring electrical voltage and current and everything, and that has been on every job site with me since high school. I got that as my graduation present, and that one was stolen. And you know the person's not using it properly, because it's a meaningless meter unless it's to you. And it's just like my collection of the tools. You don't want to be able to keep that forever, so you've got to be able to share it. You've got to let other people use your tools and share those. If somebody needs something, let them use it, because that's important. I I know I've been in the middle of nowhere where nobody will let me use a tool, and it's hard to do your job when nobody's going to let you use something. But the thing is, if you do borrow something, use it properly. If you break it, buy a new one. If something goes wrong, fix it right away, because that's who you are. You're part of that. If you borrow something, you've got to be respectful with other people's stuff. And if somebody lends you something or shares something with you, be respectful and share something back later. But that's about it. All I wanted to say today was just the sharing lesson and how to be a good sharer. So for Tool Show, Master Dan, the Journeyman Shooter, thank you so much.